Morning, everyone. So, for those of you who might not really know, I'm Mark Shockey. I'm that guy behind the emails, and I have been in the district for a number of years, 2005, I guess, and have had some different district roles as time has gone on, and have been invited to be the district governor during your year. So we're off to some great things. Thanks for joining in this morning. And we're going to talk about vibrant clubs and what that means. You might have some definitions in mind for what that looks like. I'm just going to walk through a few things somewhat quickly. Just want to get you thinking a little bit of what you might need to do. So what we're not going to have is well, do this, do this, do this, and you'll be incredibly successful. But I'm going to throw out a number of different things at you, and then what you can do, some things will stick, some things will match your personality, and then other things you can say, okay, I heard what was said, and I think this is a way I could implement this. This is what I could do. The reality for us is every one of our clubs is different. And you're a different president than the current president and the president before that. So do your own unique thing, and that's what will make this great. That's the idea of the wheel of Rotary, is it keeps going around because we're all different, but we're all needed. We're important. So let me pull up a presentation here. Building a vibrant club. And um, that's kind of what this is all about. So I'm part of the Rotary Club of Minnesota Veterans, and there's a few of the different leaders that are part of the club. This was an event that we did, and we just had some information, and we were set up, and we were chatting with people as it goes. But if you look at the screen here, here's something of a start for us. What's this idea of vibrant clubs? Well, what we want to be doing is providing a better experience for everyone. We want to put forth a positive image of Rotary and what Rotary is all about, so that when our community looks at us, what they see is something that they think, oh, this is helpful, this is useful. Oh, that's what Rotary is. We want to be more appealing to others. We want to help others serve. We want to invite others into it. But then there's also something interesting for us as leaders, and that's really what we're about today, as we're attempting to help you as a leader, as a perspective, or as the future president, not perspective. This is reality. This is happening, but we want to help you be able to make some adaptations to your club that, as I said earlier, fit you and your personality, but also that you're really hearing what the club needs and what will be beneficial for them. So here are our objectives. This is what I want to do today, so that by the time we're finished as president-elect, you'll be able to identify some of the characteristics of a vibrant club, or a thriving club, if you will, value and keep members more engaged, and inspire your clubs by sharing a strategic plan. That sounds really fancy. You're going to have to adapt that to how that works for you. Your strategic plan might be in your setting that, well, these are the things I want to accomplish. This is what I want to do. Or you might come along and say, we really have some great things that our club is about, and I'm going to pick up those and run with it. So you're going to involve more in this strategic plan. So we'll share that in just a moment here. So let's get to the basics. What is a vibrant club? Let's try to come up with a definition of what a vibrant club is. So here you go. Just Google search vibrant, an adjective. It means full of energy and enthusiasm. It's lively, it's good, it's energetic. And then some synonyms that were there, lively, high-spirited, optimistic, exciting. That sounds kind of positive, and that's what we want our club to be. I mean, who doesn't want a club to be full of energy and enthusiasm? So this is a moment of discovery. So I'm going back several years here. This is when the Vets Club was very new, and we had heard about an opportunity with an organization called Haven for Heroes. And basically, just the quick rundown on what this is. Up in Anoka, this is the old Minnesota State Mental Health Farm. And so it has a number of four-story buildings that were all government building, but they were built right around 1900. And so they're quite aged. And because are owned by the state has worked with the county and made some of these available. In St. Cloud, there is a VA facility, and it has some different moments of assistance and care, PSDT, and different addictions. And when people come out, often their families are in shambles and they need a place to land. And that's what these facilities are being used for. So what we did is we went in and we were helping transform that room that I had showed you down below into something really amazingly powerful. And what we did is took an old basement room and tried to create a place where those individuals who were living there, those veterans, would be able to invite their family and have a clean, happy place where they could gather. What we ended up doing was having pool tables and ping pong tables and couches and table and video games and just the simple things that you where you might hang out with a family. This is the room once it was mostly coming along. Obviously, we didn't have the furniture and the likes in there, and it's really a very large, long room. We're kind of at the end, and you can see the windows weren't done at that point, and there was no heat, so there was still the heat being blown in through that little vent down at the end. But things really looked good, and what we were able to do is build Rotary leverage. I mean, that was what was exciting about this. We were able to help other organizations get involved, like Becker Furniture World heard about it. And so they said, well, we'll provide the furniture. And Pete's Billiards got involved. We'll provide the pool table. And then there were other contractors who got involved. So all the walls and the flooring, that was all donated, and they provided the labor to make that happen too. So in the end, we were able to provide extra funding to make sure that everything would continue to go forward with this. So the vibrant aspect is telling the story of what a club does. Your club does things. You might take some of them for granted, but your club is busy doing things. You know, don't scratch your head and look at other clubs and say, "Oh, we don't do anything like this." That's not true. You do, and so this was putting together all the clubs that had worked on a grant that we were able to produce. We quickly turned our $500 within a few weeks of our club being chartered into $20,000. And amazing things happened. And the truth of it is 20,000 is just the tip of the iceberg because of all that was donated and added to it, and great things are coming. So let's talk about Vibrant then. So how do we tell this story in a way that makes a difference? We could do things like have a picture like this. So this is one of the buildings, and we took this picture just because the sign was out here. But this isn't the one that we were working on down below. This is one that had already been finished. So this was the women's building, and then we were working on the men's building, one of the cottages, if you will. So which picture do you think shows more vibrancy? This picture here or this picture here? There you go. Having faces, having pictures is important. Doesn't always have to be posed. That's not the best thing when it comes to public image, but having a picture, and I just nabbed this off of social media this morning, and there it is. Just happy faces, multi ages, a group of people who obviously is dusty and dirty. They've been working hard, but they're still smiling, and great things are coming because of what they did. So that's vibrancy. And so let's take a moment and define a vibrant club. The reality is we know what a vibrant club looks like. You've experienced vibrant clubs, but what makes a club vibrant might not always be obvious. So here's a few things: growing membership, multi-generational, different ages represented, old and young, having both working together is the heart of Rotary. Happy and involved members. Does it have a feel that there's energy that's going on when you walk in? And that can be created. And you're a key to making that happen, meeting after meeting, event after event, activity after activity. And then active projects that are meeting community needs. What are you accomplishing? What are you doing? Telling the story of what you're up to. And finally, strong leadership. A vibrant club will have strong leadership. And that's you. You are the key for that strong leadership. You're not the only leader. Uh, there's this mindset that says, oh, everything rests on the shoulders of the president. Well, some things do, but not everything. And the more other leaders you empower, the better your year is going to be as president. So take a moment and just if you can grab a piece of paper and write down maybe 5 words that describe your club or short sentences. Just how would you describe your club? You heard some vibrant things, but what would you, what words would you use? What statements would you use to describe your club? So just take a moment and write a few things down like that. All right. So now this is not a time to, I don't want to say it's not a time to brag because you can brag about your club. You should be bragging about your club, but don't try to overdo and, uh, just What did you come up with? I'm just interested. Give one of your or two of your things that you did. Go ahead. Anybody can chime in. Leslie,
Uh,
go.
for Rotary Club of St. Cloud, I did community focused and connected.
Awesome. Yeah. Anybody else? What are you coming up with? Maria, you're unmuted, so you get to talk.
Maria? Okay. Um, well, I don't have one summary, but one thing we have had a lot of success with this year is attracting many diverse members and younger members. And we want to get better and better at that. But they've also brought so many new ideas for service projects and involvement with other community organizations. So it's really added to the vibrancy of the club.
Awesome. Awesome. Sharif, you're unmuted.
Uh, Rotary Club of Savage is a very small, close-knit group. Uh, they generally seem to like getting together every week. And in terms of activities, we are challenged with membership. We need to grow, but all the service projects are around focused around kids and schools mostly.
Sure. Sure. It's interesting. Everyone's bringing up different aspects because your clubs are different. Anybody else have a description you'd like to share?
I will.
Sure. Go ahead, Karen.
I'm the same as spoken earlier. We have a lot of energy, but we've in the past been an older club, and we have a new membership director, and she's doing a fantastic job of getting younger members in our club, and so that just increases the energy. So we're super excited to have more younger people with us.
Good. Good. All right. So hold on to those thoughts about what's vibrant about your club because we're going to come back to that in a moment here. All right. So that's there we go. So let's take a moment and talk about the opposite of vibrant. We can recognize vibrancy when it's there. We can also recognize when it's not so good. Here's the opposite. You know, throughout Rotary, growing membership is listed super high on the list of the greatest challenges that clubs face. And it doesn't matter what size club you are, uh, growing membership is key. If you're a larger club, you need more members to sustain it. If you're a smaller club, just having a little infusement of energy is very beneficial. So what does that look like? Well, when clubs aren't particularly vibrant, there's this feeling, and I'm being very careful to say it's a feeling. It's not always reality. It's just a feeling. That the feeling is there's not enough members for club roles and volunteer work to be done. But there's probably still some effort that is going on, and the fact that you're here says you do have some club roles filled and there are some projects that are going. Dull meetings is the opposite of vibrant, and we are sometimes our own worst critics of what that looks like, but we want to keep meetings going in an energetic way. Fear of change. This is the unspoken part of douses vibrancy, that, well, I remember how it used to be, and I remember why originally joined Rotary. And if that goes away, what will people really like? And so that becomes very heavy when it comes to how are we keeping going as a club? And then the reality of aging membership. The reality is, and I'm just generalizing here, you can take offense with me, that's okay. But the general rule of things is the older generation are joiners. They'll join because they want to be part of a club, part of an organization. The younger generation are doers. They will volunteer. They'll get their hands dirty, but they're not always real thrilled about sitting around talking. So you put those two dynamics together and you've got something very interesting. So let me just share from the Veterans Club perspective what that looks like. So we've got our diehard Rotarians, and there's a few of them who have come into the club with Rotary experience, and they are huge on having meetings, having programs, having speakers, having other veteran organizations tell us about what they're doing. And then we have a younger group. They're all veterans who have served in the past. And we have a number of active participants in military. They're in the reserves, they're in the guard, they're still doing it. They're younger, they're in their first 20 years. So basically between 18 years old and 38 years old, because that's a typical life scan of a military career. You know, obviously it can go on much longer than that, but they're at a point where they're saying, I have a full-time job. I do my military service on the weekends. I don't need another evening meeting to sit there. I don't even need an afternoon meeting to sit there. But let me know when I can help people, help veterans and their families, and I'll show up. Okay, so there we have different things. So what is that? Well, one group looks at the other and it can just diffuse things really quickly. And the truth is, we need all of those individuals to really be a vibrant club. So, how do we go beyond this? Well, Rotary has an action plan, and in that action plan, there are four different components, four different priorities of if we do this, if we take action on these things, we're going to see progress. We're going to see all kinds of things happen. So on this section, and I'll be connecting this to you along with this recording on this part of the website, myrotary.org. What's interesting is the action plan toolkit. So this is vibrancy on steroids. This is all the things that you can come along and do. And there's one particular aspect here that I want to really point out as a first step. It's called the Club Planning Assistant. It's just a short, simple Q&A. A question is asked, gives you three options. Choose one of those three options, and then it might clarify, or else it will give a few steps that you could take. So specific advice tailored for your club and your responses. So that is a great thing to look for. You can go into My Rotary and just look up action plan and find it there. You can even get to it from Rotary as a whole by looking at the action plan, even, and then it'll take you into My Rotary to get to this section. Here's that club planning assistant. It starts with a question like this. In my club, new members are given an orientation and presented with opportunities to get involved. Is that true, or are you working on that, or are you really sad in making this happen? So if you push continue on that, then it will say, okay, here's the next step that you could take. So great tools out there. You're not alone in this process of assessing your club, helping your club become vibrant. All right, so how do we engage members in new ways? That was one of our objectives here today. Well, let's take a look. Vibrant clubs engage members. What does that look like? First, we take a look at our members. If we're going to engage them, we need to know them. They join for different reasons, and your task as president is meet those expectations. In order to meet expectations, you have to know what the expectations are. So you need to be listening. And this is something you can be doing here in these next 7 months that you're ramping up to be president. And then once you find those, and once you talk to people, offer members leadership development opportunities. We all have our own lives where we are leaders. Everyone in your club is a leader in some way. That's the draw to Rotary. So if you help them see how they can improve their leadership skills, usually people are willing to hop in. Or you might say you could help others improve their skills, and you're getting both groups then at that time. Invite people to get involved. The day I joined Rotary in 1989, I still remember we were finished. People were starting to stand up from the tables. Everyone was getting ready to leave. And someone came up to me in club leadership and said, "So, Mark, which committee are you going to be on?" And I said, I don't know. What are the committees? And he went through the committees and then he said, "So which one are you going to be on?" And basically, I couldn't go until I told him, "Okay, this is what I'm going to do." And I I walked out of there feeling so important and valued and needed. So just a little personal story here. Ask people, how would you like to get involved? How do you like to help the club? And then make sure that they can do it. And then, the best way to engage members is the meetings, because that's where you get to talk to everyone. And if they're fun and productive and thought-provoking, great things will come. All right. So then, in the midst of it, I just told a story about my experience of feeling valued. What else could be done here? Well, vibrant clubs have happy members. So make people feel valued because they do have skills and expertise, and they do make effort, and recognize those. So get to know them. Find out what they're good at. Find out what makes them tick. And make sure to remember to make that connection, to tell someone, "Hey, what about Cindy? She could help in this." Let them know that there are so many ways that the club would benefit from their skills. And then another thing is just they have experiences, they have perspectives. Invite people to share those with the club, whatever that looks like. If that's a new member, well, tell us about yourself. Do a little presentation about yourself. Some clubs will have something like three unknown facts, where they just shared little details about themselves and maybe three pictures at a meeting. It takes all of 2 minutes, but that person feels valued. Others feel like they know their fellow members better when they do that. And then recognize effort. Don't be afraid to recognize effort. The tendency that we have is to think, well, I don't want to just point out certain people because I might miss someone. Yeah, you might, but if you start recognizing people over and over again, you're going to get to everybody because people are going to start getting your attention and you'll be looking for ways that people are serving. So recognize that. Recognition is important, and just share the love. That's the best way to go about it. All right. So the questions now for us here, I'm finished with my sharing, but the big question of the day is why did you step up? And I'm going to give you a chance here in just a second to explain that to us, and then finally come away from today with one specific action you'll take. Don't try to do everything. Just come down to one thing and let that be your takeaway for today. One thing that might help your club be more vibrant. So let's take a few minutes and talk about why did you step up. Let me stop sharing and get some faces back up again. What's why are you here? I mean, why did you say yes? Um, there's many, many reasons. What's yours? Maria.
Okay. Well, I think the thing that drives me is to leave the club better than I found it, but really setting it up for sustainability into the new generation and the new world that we live in. So trying to kind of move that needle to evolve and adapt. And certainly we have to grow. We have the same problem, and it's a big problem, the growth piece, both in the retention and the acquisition. Every 3 or 4 years, we do a strategic planning session. We are going to do that again. We're getting that set up so that really we can make the members start to, or many, at least the leaders, feel really part of defining what are the key priorities and goals, and so that we can get buy-in. We currently work in a lot of silos, and what we do want is we want a few or overarching ideas that all areas can try to contribute to. So that's one of the things we're trying to do. And then it'll be a 3-year plan. So my line, two people behind me would embrace this and, continue to take this forward and evolve it each year. So hopefully we'll make that work. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah. Has there been some working together like that on 3 years in the past? Or are
We
you
have in the
kind of doing
past,
something fresh?
we have in the past, one, it sort of got knocked out after COVID. Many of the plans didn't take. I also think it lacked, after you know what really the goals are, the how to, and sort of following through on that, getting that buy-in from the leaders of each area. And so we have a member in the club who's an HR facilitator of meetings like this. So we're working together to try to do that. I think the district has a visioning resource as well, if that's the kind of thing that might help anybody else. We're going to have a couple sessions and see how it goes.
Excellent. Yeah. Yep, yep. And there is a visioning tool. There are individuals in the district who will help your club do visioning. When I was president in the spring, we went to a facility that had some games and bowling and things like that, and had a room that we could rent. So we got some food and we did some visioning and had probably 25 people there, and it really was very powerful. But the district brought in an individual who walked us through what that would look like. And uh, I would say for a good 3 years, that those were our marching orders. We had narrowed down what do we want our club to look like? We want our club to be this many members, and then we all worked hard. That kind of set the goals that we accepted together. And because so many of the leaders in the club had been a part of that, they were ready to run with it. Yeah, excellent ideas using that visioning. Who's next? Go ahead, Leslie.
So why the reason why I stepped up, Mark, I think I had a lot of it was very similar to how you were started getting engaged. I had just been a member for maybe a year, and the president-elect had pulled me aside and said, you know, we want you to be the membership chair. And at that point, I had not even been to a membership committee meeting, but I think what the strategy was is engaging the younger members. At that time, I was the youngest member of the club. So we have a very seasoned club. It's a very large club. And so I think it was kind of a leap of faith on their part to say, we're going to try something new and engage a new member who's younger. And that's how I got started. So, and then from there, I had the opportunity to try different committee chair roles. And 10 years later, here I am where I'm at. And then the one thing I wanted to, or I took away, or I'm writing down for to think about for my year is I really appreciated your comment about recognizing individuals. And I think our club, we do a very good job of supporting each other and recognizing, a group collaborative, but there are so many individuals who just do a one-off little thing that really makes a huge difference. So thinking maybe during our weekly meetings, maybe there is a standing, a thing on the agenda that talks about, point out someone, and it doesn't, not someone who's in leadership role, but just a individual from our club who stepped up or is, contributed in some way. And I think that helps with recognition too of everyone. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
And sometimes clubs do that in different ways too. It might be if you have happy bucks or something along that line, seeding those to be talking about, well, what are you happy about? Did you have an opportunity to show service above self in your outside Rotary life? And that's a great way that people themselves are recognizing each other or throwing themselves out there as examples. So yeah, that's great. Who's next?
Mark, I'll go next.
Sure, please.
In Really Savage, what I saw was both the potential and the risk. We have about 23 members, and typical club member meeting, we have maybe 10, 12 people. And in the winter, the snowbirds go off, and then it's even less than that. And I saw a wonderful group of people that are mostly old, quite old, and so I saw the potential and of course the risk. And I did some research, and I was blown away by there is so much support and tools and knowledge that really exists within Rotary International. This morning's call really is an example. And somehow that's almost like the best kept secret, because I don't think a lot of membership knows that or has been exposed to that. So I saw the potential. And then the third part is it's all about synergy, right? Our club does a lot of little things, but they're all relatively small. And I don't know whether everybody feels that they're part of something bigger. And so what I wanted to do is one thing that I want to do is I want to go and talk to every member and ask how would they like to serve. And the word is serve. We are not sitting at a club, we are serving in a club, service above self. And so by really engaging with that conversation, I think might help. So
Yeah. An interesting thing to think about is don't be quick to answer that question for them. How do you want to serve? And be okay saying, I'll ask you in a couple of weeks what you
think
think,
about it.
because
Yep.
then they'll start networking and finding out and watching for, wow, our club's doing all of these things. And you can go back and look at the newsletter, see what we're up to. How could you get involved? But sometimes as leaders, we want to put people where we think they should go. And that's not always the best fit. Some will say, okay, since you asked, I'll be happy to do that. But others will really shine when they have a opportunity to figure out where they can go. Yeah.
Well, their time has to match their passion. Yep.
Speaking of recognition, it's not necessarily you, Sharif, but it's your whole club and our DG line. Every Wednesday morning, we talk and strategize, and your club came up as a great example of a club with incredible potential, and so. There you go. So we're talking about you. Uh, Leslie, I did have a question for you though. You said you'd done some different uh, chair roles and things, or not chair, but different committee roles. So which one has been your favorite out of all those roles that you've done up to this point?
My favorite is actually the community service. Membership, I really did enjoy. I was the committee chair for I think 4 or 5 years, and there was just a lot of process that needed to be put in place. So it was I felt empowering because they gave it to me, and I was able to put together a um, kind of a reoccurring monthly meeting, and it was very set. So I enjoyed helping put a plan in place. But community service is the reason why I joined Rotary. Um, as a younger professional, and at that time I had younger kids, and just wanted to find an organization where I could give back. And at the time, I didn't have a lot of time, so I was really looking for a credible organization where there was opportunities, and our Rotary Club did have that at the time. We had some signature projects that were multi-year, but then kind of the one-off projects that and it was of course helped me in my professional development. So
Awesome.
yeah, I like community service.
Yeah, and we all have those little niches that really work for us. All right, who's going next? Go ahead, Amber.
I helped start the satellite club in the Monticello, and I ran that for the last 4 years. And so I had kind of taken everything that we did. We're a very active little group in the evening time that meet. We're kind of the doers of the club. The day club kind of writes our checks. We're the doers. And so I kind of wanted to bring some energy to the day club, and get them to be more of a doer with us as well. And so I kind of just wanted to step up and push myself. I am not a great public speaker, that kind of thing. So it was also for my own personal development as well, that I agreed to do it. And definitely one thing that I am going to take away is to do a Meet Our Members Monday. So every week on Mondays, we can highlight a member, just a little bit about themselves. We can put it both during our meeting as well as on our social media and that kind of thing, so that the community really starts to get to know what we are. It's great that our motto is service above self, but I don't think we toot our own horn enough. And so, it's hard to get new members in when they don't really know what we do. And so that's kind of my biggest push, is to get some new members, re-energize the club. We've got quite a few big projects that we're taking on next year. So
What kind of Mondays? What did you call it?
Meet Our Members Monday.
Awesome. That is fun. Good ideas. Who's next? Greg, you
Well,
look
okay, it's
unmuted.
Greg. Yeah, I'm okay. I joined probably about 4 years ago. I just knew some people and they said, "Hey, come join us." Then about 6 months after I was there, they came in and, well, our treasurer has to leave. Will you take that over? And that's been a couple of years. And then all of a sudden it was like, well, we're looking for the next president. Will you do that? And so that's what I'm on. I'm lucky that our previous president, current president, and I meet every 2 weeks. So, just separately and kind of plan out where we're going and what we want to do. We've got the same problem of membership as everybody else. We are getting very active, and we've got a small club, but there's also a noon club. And so we're trying to engage them. We are engaging them to do joint projects all the time. And that's been fairly successful. We've started to get a few new members. We found out that somebody pointed out that one place to go there's a lot of people that are working from home and that type of stuff. They're looking for things to do. They want to get out of the house and, volunteer. And so introducing ourselves to them and getting, going through LinkedIn. So we picked up a couple members that way. And, that's just, trying to identify people. We figure that, the 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds are busy building their career and working with their families. So, probably if we look, sort of the 40-year group is probably and above are probably one of the areas to focus on.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, each club has its own challenges and but its own opportunities,
mhm.
without a doubt. Sounds like you've been giving that some good consideration. Yeah.
So
Well, G-Ray, I don't know if it was you who had put through a message about the link didn't work with your phone or something like that. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I'll work with Alexa a little bit and get some of our tweaks out. We're attempting a few different things. You're the guinea pigs for us, and so thanks for your patience, everybody, in trying to figure this out to be most effective for the long haul. So.
It works. Gregory sent the PDF again, which it works. If you open the PDF on the computer, then the links will be fine. But if you open it on a different device, then it's a PDF, then it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
So now I learned something, so now I know.
Well, we're glad you made it,
Yes.
without a question.
Okay.
So, the big question here, if you caught it, was just
Mhm.
why did you step up?
Yeah.
What's your PE story?
Yes. I mentioned this the last time that I kind of follow the Rotary goal, the idea of Rotary where they wanted you to start young in middle school, they want you to in primary school, in high school. So Rotary had set up ways to engage young child from each stage.
Mhm.
I just happened to be one of those that followed it. In high school, in middle school, I joined the Interact Club, the Key Club, the Rotaract Club and the Rotary and now president. I'm like, oh wow, I did it all. Wasn't part of the plan. It's just I was surrounded by Rotarian throughout my whole life. I came to the US because of Rotarians. I went to the college because of Rotarians connection. So I now and again I look back, I'm like, take Rotary out of my life, who am I?
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know. Half of the things I have achieved, I'm like, it's Rotarians.
Hmm.
They've been along me the whole time. The whole time.
So
So
powerful.
when I was asked to serve, I was like, it's a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer for me. And I said yes to serve. And the part of the reason I said yes was I'm a history buff. I went back to history. I'm like Club 9, the oldest club one of the oldest club in the world, number 9. Service above self. We invented it. I'm like, look at the deep history we have. I'm like, we helped so many other clubs out there. The reason we did this is we had back in those days, we had members that not only did they have heavy, deep pockets, they rolled their sleeves and served. And those members now they were seasoned, they're not old, they're just more seasoned out. And they don't have those strength anymore.
Hmm.
But we are blessed to have a lot of money to do more service, but we don't.
Okay.
We're getting this reputation of a check club. Like, yes, we do write a lot of check to clubs, but people came and people come to serve.
Yeah.
My goal is to remind them how that was, why they came at the first place. They came to serve. So my hope is with all the clubs in this call is some of you have very vibrant service group service projects that you're already doing that's up and running. We don't have anything solidified, but we have people that willing to do it, willing to serve. We just don't have opportunities. My hope is to partner, to team up, and we can do something together. If they need money, we'll take care of the financial. It's not our problem. It's we want opportunity to serve, and we don't have it. And my hope is to make a big push on that. Let's get out. Let's just sit on meetings and eat fancy food. Let's go out there.
Hmm.
So
Rotary has gold that is still in the ground. What do I mean by that? We have what's called Rotary alumni. And you may hear that term as you go along the way. Rotary alumni are just Rotarians like G. Ray who have been in youth exchange, have been a Peace Fellow, have done something along the way, but they weren't Rotarians when they were involved in that. And following up and connecting and inviting them. So often, I would say I've heard three people this past year in my DGE year that have said, well, I did this when I was young, and now someone invited me. And of course,
Mhm.
I'm happy to join Rotary. But unless they get invited, they might never do that. That's why I say that's gold that's still in the ground waiting to be mined. And we all have them. All of our clubs have younger people that we've influenced. It might look different for your club,
Yes.
but it's they're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Um, Now let me get the name right. Bassie or Basie? How do you pronounce it? And hopefully you can chime in here.
Yes.
We don't see you. So we've got some clubs in our district that are e-clubs, virtual clubs that are from regionally all around the area. And Basie is not here in our state. He's from another state, I think Alabama, if I recall. But he'll be president of a club that is from the district, founded in the district. So that's our connection. We've got several of those clubs. So we'll catch in. Karen, if you want to share, you can. You don't have to, but love to hear your story too.
Sure. When I first joined the club, it I was the youngest person. And as time has gone on, we've definitely added a lot of people who are now much younger than me, which is very exciting. And I think the last few years, the two Andys, we had Andy Lucking and Andy Schmitz, were our presidents, and young, you know, in their 30s, and so exciting to have the momentum going. And I have a lot of energy and I have a lot of excitement for Rotary, and so we just wanted to keep that going. We didn't want to lose it. Not by putting someone in who's, stuffy and boring, but we definitely want to keep having fun with our club. And so that's why I just wanted to, keep the momentum going. And things I'm thinking about, I was just making notes about all of our new members that we have. And we do have a process and we do have a great membership chair, but I really do want to personally follow up with I've got a list of like 10 people that are new in the last couple of months, 6 months or so, and just follow up with them and see what they're doing, because, I may see them at the meeting, but I don't necessarily always, get over and talk to everyone. So I'm going to make that an effort in the next few meetings, is just to kind of
Yeah,
connect more.
that's great. And being a champion for younger people, that will come out as you talk, as you lead meetings, and all of a sudden, other members will really be watching for that, for opportunities to invite young people. So well played. All right. Well, awesome. Good chatting here today. There's so much to learn. In fact, one of the things that didn't make my little presentation was one of the things you can do with your members to create vibrant members is point them to the website, point them to rotary.org, and let them discover even the learning center themselves. And we'll talk about that more during these next months that come. But I think it I've heard the stories of so many Rotarians who just stumble across the website and are like, I didn't realize all the things that we do. And yeah, we do a lot as Rotarians. We are vibrant. We are people of action. So keep that in mind. As you go from here, just take that one little thing that you picked up today and over Thanksgiving week and the next week, maybe you can act on that and get that going. I think the next time we're together is December 14th. So we'll have another chat at that point. We'll only do one in December with Christmas coming up. And then we'll have two in January and two in February, and each one is a different topic. Sometimes I'll have other people who will be here to challenge you. It's not always going to be me, but for the most part, we're trying to forge a relationship too, and um, I want you to know you can tap me for any of this, and I'll keep working on my connection points with you. And a little secret: the ones I have already done, the coffee that I've had with people, or the Zoom call that I've had, were all people who said, "Hey, you wanted this together." We kind of conversations, and yeah. I'm happy to do that, and sooner or later I'll tap you all. But let me know, and if you want a chance to chat, and we'll work together. Thank you so much. Enjoy your Saturday and go Rotary, huh?
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.